This video will talk about the basics introduction to Microsoft Excel. What is Microsoft Excel? It is a spreadsheet program. We use it to create reports that need the calculations and charts. An Excel file is called a workbook. The default title is the book number 1. The ribbon broken into the tab. We have the file, the home, insert, tab, draw, page layout, and so on. The name box on the left, which is the name of the cell, and the formula box is on the right. So this is the location where you can input a formula, and this is the location of the cell. For example, if I click here, this one has the column E and the row number 3. So we have E3 for the name box, and this one is the formula bar that you can enter the formula to get the output of something. Again, the row here, we use the numbers to represent the row and the letter to represent the column. The worksheet navigation button here down here, we have the sheet number 1. You can click the add button here to get another sheet and so on. They are all inside the workbook number 1. Now we also have something called the status bar. The status bar, it shows you the status of the Excel. Right now we are in the ready mode. This means nothing is being entered or edited on the spreadsheet. And then now, for example, if I enter something, then we are in the enter mode, and this mode is when you are doing the data entry. Alright, so if you just type something, it will get to the enter mode. Or if you edit something, so imagine that you have a number, some number, right? And then now if you double click on that, if you double click on the cell, you are making the edit, right? So we are in the edit mode. Edit the contents of the current cell. You can change it when you double click on a cell with the data in it, or you click inside the formula bar up here. Now on the right hand side, the bottom right, you can zoom in the spreadsheet by clicking the plus sign here. It will zoom in. It's easier for us to see the numbers clearly here. And you can also expand the column just by clicking on this and drag it to the right to make it larger. Sometimes the title is too long. You need to expand it out so you can see everything in there. When you are at a cell, if you press enter, then it will move down one cell. Okay, and then if you click shift enter, it will move up. Or if you click the keyboard tab, it will move to the right, or shift tab, it will move to the left. So those are the basic keyboards that you should pay attention to. Let's talk about a clipboard. You can copy something. This is Control C, right? Or you can paste something, Control V. So I can copy this one. I press Control C, 55. I go to this cell. I press Control V. I paste the same thing that I copied from here to another location. You can do that just like a Word document. And then up here, you can change the font of the letter, the word. You can click down here. You can change it to anything that you like. You can increase the size or enlarge it, increase the font size, and then decrease. You can bold it. You can underline. You can fill the color, change the color of the text, and so on. And you can just move it, align it to the center, the left, the right, and change the decimal points and so on. There's so many things that you can do just like your regular Microsoft Word document. Now looking at this general tab here, the first one is the number format. Okay, it allows you to change the way numeric values are displayed on the spreadsheet. The drop-down arrow gives you a list of the most common format. Click here, common format, including a more number format options right here. Number two, the second thing, the dollar sign. Okay, this is the currency style. This style keeps the dollar sign on the left side of the cell and the number on the right side. The drop-down arrow gives you a list of the other currency format. For example, the Euro, Chinese, and so on. And the next one, this one here is the percent style. It sets the selected cells to the percent style. This style has the 0 decimal places, and you can use the keyboard shortcuts Control Shift %, and this button can be reset through the cell styles on the Home tab. And then the comma style sets the selected cells to the comma styles, and this styles has a comma for every 1,002 decimal places, and this button can be reset just like the previous percent styles. And you can increase, decrease the decimals, increase the decimals, which is this one, increases the number of the decimal places showing to the right of the decimal. And this one decreases the number of the decimal places showing to the right of the decimal. Okay, now let's talk something about the fill handle. The fill handle is in the bottom right corner of the selected cells. When you place your mouse, so for example here, when you place your mouse over that handle, it changes from a thick white cross to a thin black cross, or the green black cross right here. A thin black. So this is the white. You see, this is a white cross, and if you place to the bottom right, it changes to the thin black cross. Once you see the thin cross with no errors, you can click and drag the cells to fill its contents in a single direction, either up, down, left, or right. So I can click, I can drag it down. If you want to go in two directions, you must first complete one way, let go of the mouse, and then drag the handles in the second direction. When you use the fill handle to pull out a single number or the plain text, it will copy the data. When you use the fill handle to pull out a text with numbers, a day, a month, or weekday, it will fill in a series. So just for example, if I just type ABC, I click on it, I go to the bottom right with the black thin cross. I click, I hold the mouse, I just drag it down. It will copy the same thing over and over again for the rest of the value. The same thing to the number. Let's say I have 555, 5 of number 5. I click here, I go to the bottom right, I drag it all the way down here. It will copy everything here. It happens the same thing with the text, the number, but for the date. So for example, this is, for example, May 14, 2022. Okay. Now, if I click on the cell, I drag it down. However, for the date, it will automatically increase the date up by 1 day. So this is May 14, 15, 16, and so on. Same thing to the month. So if we are in May, then you may like drag it down and you get June, July, August, September, and so on. Same thing to the weekday, Monday, the day in the week, Monday, and you can also drag it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. That is when you click on one cell and you drag it down. When you select two or more numbers, including the dates, and then you use the fill handle, Excel will fill in the series following the original pattern of the selected cells. It can only follow simple addition and subtraction patterns. So for example, I have 123, I have 124. So it looks at the two cells. It sees that, okay, we add 1 to this current value to go to the next one. So to go to the next one again, you add one more, you add one more. So it copies the pattern that we see here. Now you drag it down, it will go to 123, 124, 25. It just keeps adding one unit to the next one. But make sure you have to select both of them so Excel can copy the original pattern. Same thing here, if I have like 5, 4, then it sees that the value decreases by 1 unit. So I highlight both of them and then I drag it down. So the next one has one value less than the previous one, and so on. Alright, the next topic would be building an equation. You can directly type in the values, but that data stays constant. So if I type the number 54, number 5. Number 5 will stay constant. If you want to have the answers to your equations update as you change your data, you should use the cell, the address, right? The cell address. You will see the cell addresses change the colors so you can tell which ones are used in your equations. Cells are labeled by their row and column heading. This is the row 41 and column D. So I call this cell is D41. D41. Click on the cells where the answer will appear. Okay, so let's say I want the answer to be here. I click on the cell, I press the equal sign. This will tell me that the Excel will do some calculation and return some value. Now, you can press 1 plus 5. Then it will give you 6. Or let's say I type the value here is 5. I type the value here is 10. And then I go here. I click equal. I take the value of this cell. I click on it. Subtract the value of this cell. So 5 subtract 10. That is minus 5. And it makes sense. This is the output from the calculation. And this, if you double click on that, you see that we have the blue color, which is the value inside the blue cell, minus the value inside the D37, the red cell. So it shows you exactly where it takes the data from. So this is the subtraction. You can type the addition using the addition keyboard, or this is the multiplications, and this is the divisions, and this one is the symbol for the notation for the exponent, the power. There's another good auto sum function here. So let's say you want to add everything in this row. We just simply highlight all of them and just simply click auto sum. And then this is the answer, 26. This auto sum is the sum of all the value from D37 to D41. So you add all these values, you get 26. Alright, so let's now move on to the very first tutorial. The first section, introductions, entering data and random number generator. We do a lot of analysis in any elementary statistics class with a lot of data. So the first thing is be sure that you know how to enter the data and maybe generate random numbers so that you can use in statistics. So for an introductory statistics course, we normally use the built-in functions or the data analysis commands to perform most of the calculations we need. Built-in functions are available from the formula tabs, which is here, the formula of the built-in functions. And the data analysis commands are available in the analysis toolbar. Please follow the steps below to make sure that the analysis toolbar add-ins is added in Excel. So you click on the home, the tab, and then you click on the options, and then add in, go and make sure you check the analysis toolbar, click OK. So if I go back to my Excel, click on the home, then in the files, the home, go to option and go to add-ins, and then under the manage Excel add-in, click go, and then make sure this is checked and click OK. All right. And you can see that we have the data analysis tool, the formula, all the built-in functions are here. And I talked about this earlier. Entering the data, you can enter the data as number, text, the days, or times by selecting a cell on an Excel spreadsheet. You can enter the data in one cell or multiple cells at the same time. For example, I entered testing number 1, number 2. This is in C column, row 5. This is the days. That is easy. Now let's talk about the random number generator. There are a couple of functions that we can use to generate random numbers. The rand functions, or rand between function can be used to generate random number. The rand function takes no input. You do not need to give it any input, and it will automatically generate a number between 0 and 1. So let's go here. If I press equal, because this is the function, I need to press equal. I put in the rand d, right? Rand, open and close. Open the parenthesis and close it. And I hit enter. It will give me a random number between 0 and 1. So 0.04, right? A random number between 0 and 1. And if I use the rand between, then it will give me a random number between the two boundaries. Now, for example, if I type equal rand between, let's try it here. Let's go over here. If I press equal rand between, let's say I want a number between 50 and 80. Then I expect to get a random number between 50 and 80. 76, right? It's between 50 and 80. Now, in Excel spreadsheet, if you press the space key and the enter on the keyboard, it will refresh the whole Excel spreadsheet, and your random function generator will automatically recalculate the value again, and you will see a different value every time you press this, or anytime that you run any calculation on the spreadsheet, then the whole thing is changed if you have a random number. Remember, a random function gives you a random number every time you press it, right? For the Mac user, you press the command plus the enter key. So for example, here, let's say my random number between 50 and 80 is 76. If I press the space key and the enter key, then this will change again. So let's try that. The space, enter. Let's try it here again. Okay, right here you see that 53. Space, enter. It goes to another value. Space, enter. Another value. Space, enter. Another value. And this one also changes as well, because this one is the random function. Random function between 0 and 1. Again, 60, again 78, and so on. So it will keep changing. You can also track down here. If for example, I want 7 random numbers between 50 and 80, then I get this random number. I can press the space key and then the enter. Everything is changed again because of the way that you refresh the whole spreadsheet. Then the random function will change to a random number again for every number.